2031 is here. Season 7. I feel like the time has flown by. I've been really enjoying putting these videos together, and I hope you have enjoyed watching them. Let's set up the season. We lost last year in the championship series to the Tigers. We did win 106 games, so hopefully we can replicate that, if not do even better. I think that's a high bar to set, but the main goal is to win the World Series. And that's really our North Star for this season, for all of the decisions we're going to make. It's all geared around getting it done in October. So let's take a quick look here at the budget. Two largest and longest contracts belong to Riley Greene and Bryce Miller. We're on the last year of Shane McClanahan. I would love to extend him just to have him all the way through and kind of be like a Kershaw type for us, where he's just a lifelong Ray. He won a Cy Young in 2030 last year, four-time All-Star, 2 in our simulation window. My only concern with Shane is if he starts to regress and still wants a ton of money. That's the only hang-up for that one. We signed Colt Keith in the offseason to come in and replace Gleyber Torres at second, and the motivation here is not only that he's a great player, but he is especially great versus lefties. And as I was setting up our lineups in the playoffs last year, it kind of hit me that we could get exposed against lefties, both starters and relievers. So I wanted a guy who can just crush lefties for us. We also have Akil Baddoo. He's 32 on a 4-year deal, so a little worried about those last couple of years, but at least I think in the short term, anything's possible. Joe Ryan, if you recall, regressed out of nowhere at like 32 and very rapidly. Luckily, we were able to still trade him in a reasonable trade, but who knows? So Akil Baddoo looks great. Love his hitting stats. Good defense out there in right field. So happy to have him. When Seal's back in center, Xavier Edwards is going to be coming back to DH for us. He has been awesome. Look at these awards. These are all with us. 3 straight All-Star appearances, Silver Slugger last year, and 2 straight batting titles. Last 2 years, 6.1 WAR last 2 years. So shifting him over to being a DH instead of playing defense has been amazing. So he's always in the race for the hit leader, Silver Slugger, batting titles, as well as he steals a ton of bases. So I love Xavier Edwards. He's been one of my favorite guys in this rebuild. Here is Graham. Graham is our generational catcher. He is at 96 overall. All eyes are on him for 2 reasons. Number 1, will he reach 99 overall this year? I'm betting on yes. And number 2, will he reach his potential with hitting? Because he has not eclipsed 800 OPS. And I remember when we entered opening day last year, the computer projected him to be like an 820 OPS guy. And that was when he was 92 or 93 overall. So I really want to see him hit better. There's no concerns on the defense. He's been in the running for a Gold Glove every year. And he's extremely valuable still, a 5.4 WAR player. We signed him early for $13 million a year. And you can see his awards page here. So hopefully to add some more to this. And to be honest with you, he's their best bet at an MVP, unless one of the pitchers can sneak in there. But yeah, that's my hope for Graham Williamson, is that he's in the MVP hunt. Shonwell's back to play first. We've had him for forever now. Figueroa is still has 3 more years left for us at third. And then we've got some relievers down here. So this is the guy who stands out, Luis Fernandez. He is a side armor from the left side who throws absolute heat. And we signed him for 4 more years. He did have a couple blips in the playoffs last year. So hopefully he can tighten that up. But I believe in him because not only do his stats look amazing, but in the regular season, he was 59 out of 64 in saves. And he can give us 74. He can give a lot of innings as a closer because he has 38 stamina. So I'm betting on him. But there's other relievers in here who are on 1-year deals who could very easily get moved. And we could probably get a lot of value for a trade on some of these guys because, and that's okay for us to do, because if you look at our roster, we have queued up, even though we haven't won a World Series yet, we have done so well building up this organization that we have guys queued up. So just speaking on the relievers quickly, like Beck is in AAA, he could come up at any time. Jarvis Jones, Robbie Berg are both queued up here. They are both good-looking players themselves. And then look at the closers. Look at the closers. So there's a lot of movable parts. These are the 2 that I have up right now. And Arnez, I do have some questions around. I think he has pretty high A potential, so He is 25 already, though, so we'll see. We'll see. I mean, compare him to Luis Fernandez, who's 88 overall at 23. So we've just got a lot of guys in the queue. If we need to move guys up and down or make trades, whatever we want to do, let's look at the lineup. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to have versus righties. It's going to go Edwards, Badu, Greene, Williamson, Figueroa, Shanuel, Perez, Colt Keith, and then Carson Williams. I'm going to commit to Carson Williams this year. He has reached that threshold where all his hitting stats, except for contact left, are above 60, and that contact left is only missing by 1. And I think I said this back in like the very first season, that once he gets there, I really want to commit to him being our franchise shortstop. Look at his defense. I mean, even if he's a below average hitter, that defense is unbelievable. Unbelievable. So we will see how he does this year. He is out of options. So if things go really poorly, and I want to give him a lot of time to adjust, if not the whole season, if things go really poorly, we would have to trade him because I'm not going to release him or DFA him or whatever. So that's versus righties. The main difference versus lefties is Colt Keith moves up, and then Lucius Costello, who we got in the offseason, is going to platoon with Williams. So Williams has that 70 contact versus righties. Costello 74 versus lefties. So they're going to platoon. If one of them's doing way better, hopefully it's Carson. But yeah, they're going to split time there. So that is the plan on the position player side. Let's go ahead and check. Last thing here before we get into opening day, let's check on the rotation. Bryce Miller is going to be first, then McClanahan, then Pyle and Fredrickson, the two rookies from either last year or the year before. Yeah, a couple years ago. Pyle, hoping for some more development here. He can be better than he's shown. So we'll see. I'm actually going to flip him and Fredrickson because Fredrickson has been very good. I was concerned about his stamina way back when I drafted him. He's still given 170 innings. So I think that changed the way I look at this a little bit. He is more of a contact pitcher, so he can probably get less pitches per at bat. But I guess 62 stamina is more viable than I thought, which is great. And then we're going to have a rookie, William Styles, in here. So he's going to come up. And the reason why it's Styles who has seat potential with all the guys that we have in the in the queue here, I'll just show you kind of like I did for the relievers. We have two other guys who could replace him, possibly even three, but really two other guys who could replace him at any moment if Styles is struggling and these guys are doing great. So Pablo Chavez, we drafted just in 2029, just recently, and he can come up and replace Styles. And then we also have Elvis Fabregas, who we drafted in 2027, and I have been high on him ever since, and he's really close to getting in the majors. So. And then we have Ordonez. I don't know if it would be him unless he somehow, rapidly improves faster than these two guys. But that's the plan on the pitching side. And I think that's everything before we get into opening day. So we're going to be taking on a division opponent, the Blue Jays. Miller is going to get the hill. Let's get this season started and watch opening day baseball. Opening day 2031. Welcome to Tropicana Field. The Rays will host the Blue Jays to start off the season. The Blue Jays really struggled last year, while the Rays soared to 106 wins. The Blue Jays had over 100 losses. Taking the hill for the Rays is going to be Bryce Miller. 3.25 ERA last year, a whip under 1, which is excellent. A low walk rate, Cy Young winner in 2028, as Miller delivers the 1-2. And he struck him out. Perfect start to the year from Miller. And that'll bring up Tamar Johnson, who's a Pirates prospect in real life in 2025. Here's the 1-2. And swing and a miss. 2 outs here, 1-1. Hit hard. Deep left field. Greene going back. He's on the track. And he makes the catch. Loud contact there, but 3 up, 3 down for Miller. Mitch Leonard gets the nod for the Jays. And here's a look at the lineup heading into the year. Look at those averages as Leonard throws the 2-1. That is grounded softly to second base. Johnson handles that over to first. And 3 up, 3 down. As here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. And that's it for the third. And that is hung down the middle there, but Volpe is just underneath it, out to right. Badu's under it, and we're headed to the bottom half of the fourth. Here's the 2-1. And that's hit hard to center field. Back to the track. Comes up just shy of the track. Clase makes the catch, and we're headed to the fifth. The Rays still without a hit. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Chasing the fastball out of the zone. 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. And that's hit hard. Right center field. Clase's over there and makes a running catch. The defense flashing for the Blue Jays as Leonard is through 5. Here's the payoff pitch from Miller. And that's hit hard. Left center field. Greene goes back to the track, to the wall, and that's out of here. 2-run shot. Heliot Ramos breaks the scoreless drought. Here's the pitch. Struck him out. Englert gets out of it, and we are headed to the bottom half of the 6th. No one's been able to square that up as here's the 1-2. Fastball's hit hard. Deep left field. That's headed to the wall, and it's out of here. The Rays' first hit is a solo shot from Wenceel Perez. As the count evens up, 2-2. And the pitch. Smoked. Deep left center field. Colt Keith, gone. Back to back in the bottom of the 6th. Keith ties the game. Crowd is on their feet. And after being no hit for 5 innings, Colt Keith goes back to back. No doubt about it. 400 on that one. Leonard approaching 100 pitches. Bottom 6, 2 outs, 2-2. And he struck him out. Flamethrower, Ben Joyce. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out. 103, top of the zone. Strikes out the side, and we are headed to the bottom half of the 7th. Fouls that away. We'll see another 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And that's it for the 8th. Pitch from Rodriguez is grounded right back to the pitcher. He goes to second for 1, over to first, and that's a double play started by Yariel Rodriguez. 1-4-3. So we'll see another 1-2. And swing and a miss. We are headed to extras on opening day in the Trop. And Noda is at the plate. Arnez is on the hill. Here's the payoff pitch. And that's grounded up the middle. Perez in to field it. Throw is not going to go home as the runner scores, and the Jays do put up 1 in the top of the 10th as Noda comes up clutch. Arnez delivers and strikes him out. Fastball up and in. 24,000 in the seats. Deshauna will have some magic. He does not. That is grounded to first, and that is going to do it. The Blue Jays win the first game of the year. Rays not able to put up much offense, and they will start the year 0-1. Second game of the year, and our first look at Luis Fernandez, who's got some traffic. Runners on first and second. Rays up 1, 2 outs. Top of the 9th. Fernandez delivers. Struck him out. Rays win. First week of the year, the Rays start off 5-4, able to sweep the Phillies, but have lost 2 in a row to Miami, and we are going to head to the first week of scouting. I'm going to try a slightly different strategy for scouting this year, and nothing's changed here in the first week. I'm going to continue to discover international pitchers like always. That's just undefeated strategy. Always a good fallback. But after, I would say, 3, maybe 4 weeks of discovery, I am going to not do as much discovery this year, and I'm going to get another position player scout in here, and I want to see if this helps me now that I am, later on in the rebuild, if this can help me get some more position players later on in the draft. I'm so used to getting all the pitchers, which is great. They're great trade pieces, but we're a little bit more turnkey now coming towards the end of our rebuild. So I just want to try something a little new. I'll keep you posted on how it goes. We're always going to continue to have a pitcher scout. But and then I am just going to do what I normally do with my best position player scout and look at some of the best players that I think are possible for me to get. So just going to shake it up. Let's see if this ends up being a decent strategy. 15-7 here to start the year. Let's just check in real quick on the pitching rotation. Bryce Miller's been excellent. 4-0, 1.57 ERA. McClanahan's been okay. He has gone down slightly from 90 to 89 overall. Fredrickson's been solid. Pyle has really started off strong. .86 whip and a 3.09 ERA. And then Styles in his rookie campaign is also off to a good start. Good for him. Bullpen, Brito, 4 innings, no runs. Morales, 3 innings, no runs. Holton, 10 innings, 3.48 ERA. Angler, 17, 4.08 ERA. And Joyce, kind of off to a slow start here, 9 innings, 4.66. Arnez, 9 innings, 3 ERA. And look at Luis Fernandez, 8 innings pitched, 1 ERA, a perfect 9-0 in save opportunities. So the staff looks good overall to start the year. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to bring in William Callahan to replace our Discovery Scout, Elliot Chan. And we're now going to, instead of discovering for all 14 weeks, we're going to have 2 position player scouts going at once. And we'll see how this works out. I have been 0 for 3 on the first 3 guys I scouted on the position side, so definitely need some extra hands on deck here to find some decent position players this draft. Early in the season, Bryce Miller once again in the hunt for the Cy Young. He won a Cy Young back in 2028, looking for his 2nd career Cy Young. And Luis Fernandez is in 2nd place for reliever of the year. He's definitely our best bet at winning that award. Graham Williamson went 5 for 6 in that last game for the White Sox. And so far this year, he is at a 783 OPS. He has got 4 homers, a triple, a double, 35 hits so far in 31 games. So pretty good start for Williamson. Let's see if he can get even a little bit better. He has not increased his overall just yet, but he has improved his contact versus left significantly. Here we go again. Luis Costello needs a triple for the cycle. Top of the 9th. Rays are up 2 in Houston. And he's going to ground that out to second base. One of these days, we're going to catch a cycle. Let's do a little news segment on the show here. Let's check in on former Rays who have since moved on to other teams. We're going to start with Ryan Pepio. He has gone to Detroit and has found a home here in Baltimore, and he's put up a few good seasons. He, at one point, if you recall, was in the race for the Cy Young the year after we got rid of him. But right now he is 80 overall, B potential. Let's go check out some other guys. Danny Jansen is still in the league here. He has really had some very good seasons in here. He's kind of bounced around the league, but good for Danny. Let's see what the hell's going on with Dante Nolo. He is on the White Sox. 690 OPS. Okay. Johnny DeLuca is also on the White Sox, and he's having a pretty good year offensively. How about Josh Lowe? He as well spent some time on the White Sox. He never really quite found it at the plate in his career. He's a very well-rounded player, but not necessarily exceptional in anything. And he's actually off to a good start, though, in 2031. Here is Christopher Morel, who has bounced around the league a little bit. He's been pretty consistently a mid-700s OPS guy. Not bad for Christopher. Edwin Uceta's still out doing it. A couple rough seasons, but a good start so far this year. And look who we have found over on the A's. Junior Caminero off to the best start he has ever had. I hope he maintains this. I really do. Josh's brother Jim Swigum has been discovered here. He's on the Braves. How about that? And the Mets are still absolutely stacked. Ellie De La Cruz, Crochet, Juan Soto, Skubal, Batista, Alvarez, Fott. I mean, good Lord. How about Ha-Seong Kim? He is on the Nationals, had a very long career, played with Cleveland a bunch. And here is the icon, the man himself, Emerson Hancock, is on the Nats. And looks like he's only pitched 4 innings, but he hasn't given up a run. Huge throwback here. Curtis Mead is currently in Triple-A. He bounced around between Seattle, St. Louis, and Texas, and actually put up pretty good numbers. D-backs also look like a good team. Mason Miller, Corbin Carroll, William Contreras, Zach Geloff, among others. Dodgers are stacked once again, and they have Drew Rasmussen. It's early, but his worst season so far. I would expect him to turn that around. He's actually closing. Look at that, 13 saves. And look at what we have here. The Padres have Boz, Bradley, and Boyle. Boz had a rough 2030. Improved a little bit here 2031. Bradley is hot right now. He had a good 2030. He always seems to go good year, bad year, good year. Well, relatively, but bad year, good year, bad year, good year, bad year. So we'll see what he brings out. And then Joe Boyle, did he turn out okay? Really, really bad 2030, but decent so far 2031. 83 overall. And guess who else is on the Padres? Brandon Lau. He spent some time in Cincinnati putting up some very good offensive numbers, and he continues to do it here. 36 years old, got an all-star appearance last year. And that's going to do it for former Rays around the league. Big blow here. Riley Greene is going to be out for 1 to 2 months with a broken collarbone. While Greene is out, we're going to slot Theo Gillen into his spot against righties, and we're going to bring in Chris Samuel against lefties. Something to keep our eye on here. Xavier Edwards has been regressing a little bit, kind of concerning, and similar with Akil Baddoo. I hope this is just temporary. I'm going to speed through the regular season a little more in this video, but just a quick check-in here. Despite being 30-16, we actually trail the Red Sox by 1. And right after that clip, we just won all 6 games that we had this week, and we are back in first place. And that means Lucius Costello is up 0 for 4 today with a walk. Here's the 0-1. And that's lined right back up the middle. Costello wins it for the Rays in extras. A walk-off for Lucius. And there is still Bryce Miller undefeated in pole position for the Cy Young. Williamson is up to 97 overall. Very, very good development here so far this year. 752 OPS. Still want a little more out of him. Carson William is struggling at the plate, kind of expected, 546 OPS. However, because of his defense, he is still an above replacement level player, so we'll just keep our eye on him, but I want him to keep playing this year. And things have worked out pretty well with Colt Keith. We're getting about what we had expected here. I don't think it would be fair to trade Tyler Holton. 30 innings in, he's at a 5.28 ERA, really struggling and regressing heavily. So I have designated him for assignment. Kind of a tough way to go out. He was a great reliever for us. And in his place, I'm going to bring up Mario Jimenez. Look at his stats in AAA. 0.31 ERA, 20-0 in save opportunities. Let's get this guy up into the MLB. And I'm going to switch Arnez and Jimenez. Let's get Jimenez in towards the later parts of the games here in a setup role. And we'll move Arnez, who has 34 stamina, over into the middle relief role. Shane McClanahan 1 out away from a complete game shutout against the Mets. A dominant outing as that first pitch is in there for a strike. The Mets are probably the best team in the NL as that is hit hard. Left field, tracking it, and it's caught. One of the best starts of Shane McClanahan's career, a complete game shutout against the dominant Mets. That was fantastic. Really good sign for the Rays offense. They were able to knock out Crochet in the 5th, putting up 3 runs on 6 hits, and then adding more on in the bullpen. 8 total runs here. Oh, and Shane only gave up 1 hit, by the way. 1 hit away from a no-hitter. The Orioles have scooped up Tyler Holton. Hopefully he ends up holding on for one last good year. As long as it's not against us. Huge, huge, huge scouting news. We have found a gem. Angelo Cortez, third baseman, looks very good. 5th ranked overall. There's a chance that we might be able to get him. So far, this scouting strategy, I think, has actually worked out a lot better than I thought. We'll talk more about it in the draft in a few weeks. I'm also going to do something a little different with our pitcher scout. I normally pick and choose individual relievers and or closers that I want to get mid to late round. But if you look at the relief pitchers that are on the board, kind of the best looking relief pitchers, international, 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 international. So the best relievers are consistently all international. So I'm going to edit this scouting assignment, and we're going to try for relief pitcher international. And let's see how that goes. Rays have been excellent this year. Looking at our June calendar, we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 losses. 3 of those coming to the Mets. They are very good. If we make it to the World Series, good chance that we'll be facing them. Fredrickson's kind of been the odd man out in the rotation this year. 4.91 ERA, 17 starts. Let's send him back down to AAA. I'll show you real quick. We got all 3 options on him. So let's send him back down to AAA. And I want to give Fabregas a shot. He's not going to strike anybody out, but he has a whip below 1 in 100 innings, 12-1 in AAA. So let's go ahead and add him to the 40-man. And let's give Fabregas a shot here. So Fabregas is going to slot in between McClanahan and Pyle. Everybody else is doing really well. Bryce Miller's been great. Bullpen's been pretty good. Marcelo Arnaz has been solid. And Mario Jimenez has yet to give up a run. And then Luis Fernandez has cooled off a little bit. He's come back down to earth. He's blown 5 saves, but still really, really solid. If he can stay at a 2.48 ERA, that would be the best of his career. WHIP is the best of his career. Hopefully he maintains that. Let's check real quick on the awards. So Bryce Miller, still very good chance at another Cy Young. And yep, looks like our guy is no longer here for reliever of the year, so he's going to have to kick this back into gear. It's still within reach for him. Riley Greene is still on the IL. He's got 2 to 3 weeks left. Can't wait to get him back. The Rays have really broken away from the pack here. 14.5 games ahead of the Red Sox. We are 64-26. I forgot. I wanted to enter the first start for Fabregas. It looks like he went 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, but no runs, 3 strikeouts. So, okay. Good for him. Definitely on high alert here with Brodie. He is having a fantastic year. Well, I guess by his standards, average. But yeah, a lot of regression here. So I'm worried. I think he's good enough that we could ride with him for the year, despite this. But yeah, this could get a little ugly. In other positive news, though, Theo Gillen has stepped into Riley Greene's place very well. 39 games, 891 OPS. How about that? He's got 7 homers, 7 doubles. Wow, that's really, really impressive. Good for Gian. We're back. It's everyone's favorite, Colt Keith, triple away from the cycle. And now the 1-1. And he just drills that deep right center, flips the bat. Way out of here. 4-11 for Colt Keith. Oh, man. Screw the cycle. Little slow-mo for you. Keith got the pitch he wanted and just barreled that. Knew it right off the bat. Just listen to that sound. Real casual with the bat flip, too. Way out of here. And back to back. Graham Williamson gets everything out of that one. 110 off the bat. That was smoke to left. Let's watch that one again. That was literally a perfect. All right, MLB draft time. So I walked you through my strategy. I think it worked out okay. I certainly was able to get a lot more position players on my board. Now, I've ordered these position players, all position players, then all pitchers, ton of pitchers in here with the starters, and then the relievers at the end. And I've kind of got them in order. So check this out. Best guy on the board for us, no doubt, Angelo Cortez. First baseman, 18 years old, looks really, really good. So if we can get him, we're going to take him. Next up, we have Stevie Karnitz. Wasn't able to finish scouting him, but like his bat, like his defense. Third baseman over here, Lorenzo Salazar. Could be another second or potentially first round option if we want to go position player. Robbie Matson here, late round option. Kind of a well-rounded second baseman, can play all the infield spots. Gil Saucedo moved up the board a lot. Speedy center fielder, decent hitting stats. Another late round option. Then we have a couple first basemen. We have Carmen Alfonso. He went down the board a little bit, but looks like actually a pretty solid player. The only problem is he's 21. Could end up having too low overall to, if he came in at 52 overall, could be tough for him to see the league. And then last one here is Rhett Coe. So the good news is that his overall is going to at least be in the mid-50s. Well, you get low 50s, but I like his bat. So there are some good options in here. Now, that being said, generally, I am going to pick the best player we've got on the board. And as always, there's a ton of pitchers. So we got Cairo. I'll just go through the kind of guys at the top of the board. Try to speed this up a little bit from past videos. So then we got Cano. We got Strickland, moved up the board a ton. A ton. Would be a nice pick. He's got a chance at having super high potential here. And Blumenthal, guaranteed high potential. Again, only problem is he is 21. So we really wanted him to come into that higher end of his range, which hopefully he would. So those are those are some of the kind of good pitchers in there. There's a bunch of them. We got plenty of options, and then the relievers. So the best one is probably going to be Terry Reyes. Then we have Leroy Burt. He has guaranteed solid potential. Also was not ranked, so good chance we can get this guy late round. Carmona, Urbina, Ikeda. Look at the walks per 9, by the way. Almost feels like too good to be true. And then Murillo. So let's get this thing started, and I will get back to you when it's our pick. Okay, so here's a look at the board. Cortez is still here. So most likely we're going to go Cortez. He's the best position player on our board. Flipping through, nobody else is really close. Let's just check the pitchers. So Strickland's here. Strickland is here. Number 10 ranked, and then Fitzgerald, we can almost certainly get in a later round. Probably Mendez too, although it's a little risky. But a lot of guys. I want to go with a position player though, because I want to see, I want to see the strategy through on the position player side. So let's go with Angelo Cortez for this one. Go ahead and sim forward. All right, pick 36. So Salazar's still here. Love his potential range. Love his potential. Very well-rounded player. Can only play third base, though. That's a later round guy. I don't really know these guys as well as in the past, so I kind of got to flip through them. Another later round guy. Okay. We should probably take Strickland, right? 10th ranked guy. That's probably the best move here. And then Salazar, we're probably going to miss out on Salazar. So he's 80 to 92 potential. That's the good thing about it. But Strickland's got the chance to be way up there. So let's go Strickland. Let's go Huey here. Oh, he's injured. Oh, my God. Oh, I just screwed up big time. Dang it. Okay. All right, well, let's get back to this here. So, Matt, so what pick are we on? 66 here? So Matson's here. It's just a matter of what do I want to risk. Does Fitzgerald fall to the next pick because he was not ranked? Matson? I mean, he's probably going to be C potential, right? I think we got to take Fitzgerald. How about the relievers here? Burt? Ooh, guaranteed good potential on Burt. Yeah, we got to go Burt here. Let's grab Ikeda. He's the best on our board. 19, 18, 18. Gosh, I mean, I don't know. 66 to 88, 63 to 85, 69 to 81. Let's take the best guy on our board. Yeah, whatever. All right. We'll see how we did. Riley Greene is finally back, so we slotted him back in the lineup. That is going to make we're dominating, but that's going to make a noticeable difference. One of our best players, so good to get him back. Pitching update. Mario Jimenez yet to give up a run. 17 innings pitched. Also, Bryce Miller, unbelievable. Fabregas, first 2 starts of his career, giving up 1 run. Beautiful. Nuh-uh. Fernandez. Nobody's touching Fernandez, even if you try to give Drew Rasmussen back to me. Okay? Okay, once again, down to our final strike. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Padres win this one. Quick look around the league here. Rays have 71 wins. Let's see who's the next closest. Giants 60. Is that it? Yep, Giants with 60. And they're ranked 24th. Huh? Just before the deadline, we are going to make a trade for Ronald Acuna. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're not going to trade for Ronald Acuna, but we are going to trade for Rondell Blanton, center fielder, 20 years old, speed, defense, maybe a little concerning, but if you look at our center field real quick, not a whole lot really coming up here. So I want to grab a center fielder who also might be part of the succession plan for some of the outfielders who may be regressing. And I'm going to give them two of our starter prospects, Tom Riddick and Brendan Tobin. What did I just say? I'm not giving up Luis Fernandez. Mariners are asking now. Trade deadline, nobody really good on the board that I want here. And look at how much green is out there. Sea of green. I did double and triple check just to make sure, but we are in good position at every position. There's really nowhere that I feel like I need to shore up right now. I'm just flipping through to show you what the roster looks like. Second base I thought about, but we've got enough guys who can play that as a secondary position. Same kind of goes with third base. We got 3 shortstops. John Wise is in AAA. If we need another outfielder, we just got Blanton. He probably won't play this year, but in a pinch, we've got Aiden Smith. And then we've got our 2 right fielders as well as Baylor Guerrero. So, yeah, didn't really see any moves that we needed to make. I think this might be the first time that we have not made really any moves at the deadline. I mean, we just got a prospect, so I guess that is one move. By the way, we're ranked first here. I think that's the first time that we've been ranked first, and it's about time. I mean, we're 79 and 31. So, yeah. Couple guys on the injury list. McClanahan might miss a start here. And then Xavier Edwards, broken forearm. Ooh. Not good. Stats are still great. I just want him to DH. But he is regressing. And he's going to be out for 1 to 2 months. All right, we're going to bring Wenzel Perez into DH then versus righties, and we'll bring Samuel in versus lefties while Edwards is out. Let's check in on Graham. 745 OPS. I re-signed Shonwell for another year, $13.5 million during the contract extensions. Guy's been excellent. Just a part of the wallpaper of the race at this point. Okay, here we go. View draft picks. Okay. Hey, Cortez. Gosh, it's nice to see some blue here at the top. Although we ended up, after all that, only getting one position player. God, the pitchers are just broken. There's so many of them. But how about Cortez, though? Cortez looks really good. Really good. Wow. I wonder if he'll get a shot to play like in the last year here. If he goes up 4 overall every year, maybe he'll get a shot. Strickland. Kind of just took him because he was best available. This was Strickland was hurt. So yeah, it seems like it damages their overall more than it damages their potential. Because he came in, yeah, I think it damages their overall more. So he's 57 overall at 19. Fitzgerald, 52 overall at 18. We'll have to see there. These guys are really never going to play, except maybe Cortez, but they'll continue to be good trade pieces during trade deadline. So, all right, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time here, but yeah, I don't think the strategy was anything revolutionary overall. I think, if things went differently, probably could have got 1 or 2 more position players, but it's just apparently so much easier to get pitchers, and it's just much more efficient to get pitchers in the scouting. It's a lot harder to scout a large amount of position players effectively. So, all right, let's get back to the season. 0-2 here to Shonwell. He's at a 2-homer day. And drills that one into the gap. 106 off the bat. That might clear the bases. Shonwell going for extra bases. And there you go. 3-run double for Shonwell. 2 homers. We just saw that 3-run double. That is a special day for Nolan. Miller 1 strike away from a complete game shutout. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out. What a game for Bryce Miller. Rays win. 2-2 here to Williams. Struck him out. Bubic gets the save for the Brewers. And here comes the 1-2 to Figueroa. Popped up. Shallow left. Diving play. Missed. And the Rays win it. In weird fashion, diving play. Unable to come up with it. The Rays walk off the Royals. And Greene gets all of that. It's back. Deep right. Gone. Walk-off granny. Riley Greene. Headed to the plate, meeting the fellas, throws the helmet. Well done, Riley Greene. What a moment here for the fans. Rays win it. Got the pitch he wanted and did not miss. High fastball. You're not getting that past Riley. Cycle watch. Graham Williamson at the plate. 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Will Graham Williamson be the one to get us that elusive cycle? Here's the 2-2. Struck him out. He will not. We're going to keep trying. Oh, my goodness. Looks like Fernandez just blew that save there. All right, rounding out the season, we finish out 112-50, improving our win total from the last year. And let's see who we're going to be facing here. All right, we are going to be facing Seattle. And they've got George Kirby starting. It'll be Bryce Miller, the former Mariner, starting for us. Let me set up the lineup real quick before we get into the postseason. Let's see, just real quick. Let's see, we've got Seattle, Kansas City, and the Athletics on our side. And then over on the NL side, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Brewers, and the Giants. So let me go set up our roster, and it's time for another World Series hunt. Let's see if this is the year. Just before I set up the roster, let's take a look at some league leaders and some awards. Here you see Bryce Miller was unbelievable. Looks like that was our only league leaders, unless I missed something. But let's check out the awards, and there we go. I believe that will be back-to-back Cy Youngs for the Rays, and Bryce Miller just got his second career Cy Young award. 216 innings, 2.25 ERA. Just exceptional. A .88 whip is absurdly good. And there you go. 2-time Cy Young winner, Bryce Miller. I'm so glad he's on our team. We'll just flip through here real quick. Shonowell came in third for the batting title. This was a just dominant year from Shonowell. Part of why I signed him for another year after this, because he just keeps getting better. And yeah, just best year of his career. Luis Fernandez came in third for reliever of the year. I'm going to talk about him in a few minutes here. And then Graham Williamson finally gets his gold glove. We have been waiting for this. Look at his awards page, really starting to fill out. He ended the year now at 98 overall. And if we take a look at his stats, 764 OPS. So, I mean, credit him for being very consistent. But I still just feel like he could be better at the plate. Obviously, you look at his defensive stats, and they're amazing. But none of his hitting stats have made it up over 90 overall. And I guess we'll see, but it doesn't look like he'll really ever quite get there now that he's already at 98 overall. This is not me complaining. He's still a generational player and has been extremely valuable for us. Really a cornerstone part of our team. Any other awards here? Let's see. Gold, second place for Wensil in the Gold Glove. Third for Akil. And Silver Slugger for Graham. Silver Slugger for Colt Keith. How about that? How about Keith? Nice. Good year for Colt. I think that is it. We didn't have anybody in the MVP race. It's going to get tougher and tougher. Look at Jordan. Just look at in the top right. I mean, are you serious? Whoa. He's won 4 straight MVPs. Whoa. Holy cow. I don't see a world where we're going to be able to take that from Jordan. But we will happily take 2 consecutive Cy Youngs. All right, so here is the pitching staff for the playoffs. We're going to go Miller, McClanahan, Pyle, and Fredrickson. 4 guys in the rotation here. In the long relief, we're going to have Yusniel Morales, who had a fantastic year, lefty, and then Johnny Brito, who's had many great years for us. He's been awesome. Then we're going to have Beck, Englert, and Arnez here in the middle relief, Joyce in the setup, and then I'm making an adjustment. So Luis Fernandez, I wouldn't say he regressed this year. I don't think that's what's happening. But I do think he had kind of a rough-ish year here. So if you look, he blew 10 saves, which, compared to last year, 59-5. So I am going to have Mario Jimenez close for us. And the stats here for Jimenez, he had 50 innings with a 2.16 ERA and the .98 whip. Really good stats, similar to, he's kind of like Fernandez Jr. If you just look at Fernandez, his whip's a little bit higher here. So we're going to try out Jimenez here. And then Fernandez is going to be in the setup with Joyce. So that's going to be the pitching rotation. And we'll go check the lineup here in a sec. All right, this is going to be our playoff lineup. Versus righties, Shawnuel, Greene, Williamson, Figueroa, Edwards, who's moved down a little bit here. He's starting to hit that regression. Still a fantastic player, but I've moved him down just a little bit for this playoff run. Then we go to Akil Baddoo, also hitting regression. Still a great player. Then we go Winfield Perez, Colt Keith, and Carson Williams, who, by the way, ended up being a pretty effective player. He had a 619 OPS, which, obviously would want more than that. But with his defense, he had 2 WAR for us. So we're going to let him hit against righties. And then versus lefties, Samuel, Shawnuel, Williamson, Keith, Edwards, Greene, Costello, Figueroa, and Perez. So for this playoff run, I'm going to go with these custom entry conditions. So hopefully we'll get in and see some big moments until if we get to any potential elimination or series clinching games, we will go in and I'll make sure to watch the whole game. And then, of course, I'll edit it down. But it just takes way too long to watch every single game start to finish. So this is my plan going in. And without further ado, let's go into game 1. And we are going to be entering up 1, bottom of the 5th, 1 out. 1-2 now to Williamson. And that's strike 3, front door slider. Kirby gets out of it. Shawnuel with 176 hits in the regular season. Is it too much to ask for one right here? It might be. Popped up left field, lazy fly ball, and Rays leave the bases loaded. Keith down 0-2. And he lines that. Left center field. That's going to drive home the go-ahead run. Could be extra bases for Keith. And it will be. A double. Colt Keith comes up huge in the bottom of the 8th. And he hits that deep into right field. Back to the track. It's off the wall. That's going to be another run. Carson Williams goes the other way for a double, and it's 4-2. And so a new closer is coming in. First career postseason appearance, and it is closing time. Mario Jimenez, first postseason save opportunity. He was excellent in the regular season. He's got 2 runs to work with. He'll be facing Royce Lewis to start, who had a fantastic year. Here's the 0-2 to Lewis. Strike 3, curveball, 1 away. Dangerous hitter here in Tucker. Here's the 1-2 from Jimenez. And that is line to left field, but right at Riley Greene makes the catch, 2 down. 2-2 now, crowd on their feet. Jimenez looking to close out game 1. Struck him out. What a moment for Mario Jimenez. Rays take game 1 at the Trop. Game 2 now, we enter in the top of the 5th with 2 runners on. Shane McClanahan started today in a bit of a jam here. 1 out. Count is 2-2 here to Rowdy. Shane delivers. And that's popped up. Center field. Perez is under it, and Shane works out of a tight spot in the 5th. And with that, the Rays win this game at the Trop and take a 2-0 series lead. There you see the stat line. 3 innings in a row, putting up 2. Riley Greene 2 for 3 with a homer, and McClanahan goes 7 innings, only gives up 1 run with 7 Ks. Williamson and Costello also add home runs in this game. And we don't even need to enter Game 3. The Rays sweep the Royals, winning 6-3 here behind a great outing from Aaron Pyle. Let's go ahead and look at the box score real quick here. So, looks like Greene and Brodie both homered. Shonowell, Edwards, and Keith had extra bases. And let's see the stat line here. So, Pyle went 6 innings, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. Wow. 1 earned run. Vincent Beck struggled a little bit, gave up 2, but then Joyce and Jimenez shut things down. Excellent series to start our playoff run. And now the Rays will be facing the Athletics in the championship series. This is where we came up short last year. So hopefully our fortune changes a little bit. The boys stay hot and we can get ourselves to a World Series. Rays down 1, bottom of the 5th. 2 outs, 2 runners on for Riley Greene. Greene's been on fire to start the postseason, and 2 for 2 today. Here's the 1-1. Smoked. Deep left center field. Way back there. And that's going to be off the wall. Extra bases for Riley Greene. Runner rounds third, headed to the plate. And he's safe. Greene with a 2-run double. Rays take the lead. See if Williamson can add on here. And that is smoked. The very next pitch, way back to right center, to the track, to the wall. Gone! 2-run shot, Graham Williamson. This game just flipped on its head quickly. Second of the postseason for Williamson. It's a 2-run shot. Rays now up 4-1. And that's grounded right back to Javier, so he gets out of it, but not before the Rays put up 4. And with that, the bullpen takes care of the rest. Bryce Miller gets the win. Rays win Game 1. And McClanahan started Game 2. The Rays beat the A's 9-0. Looking at the box score here for the Rays. 14 hits, 9 runs, homers for Figueroa, Brodie, Keith, 2 doubles for Greene, and 1 for Williamson. Figueroa with a triple. And McClanahan, how about that? 7.1 innings, no runs. And then Vincent Beck comes in, 1.2 innings, no runs. Beautiful. Headed into Game 3 here early. Bases loaded for Williamson. 2 outs, top of the second. Rays already up 1-0. And here's the 1-1. Williamson grounds that to second base. Second baseman over to first, and the Rays leave the bases loaded. Count is run full to Evan Carter. Pyle trying to work out of a tight spot. And that is hit hard, deep into left. Greene tracking it to the wall. Makes a great catch. Throw to third is way offline, but the runner doesn't advance. A great play from Riley Greene, flashing the leather. Here's the 1-0. Fastball's right down the middle. That is ripped by Torres. That's going to tie the game. All the way to the wall. Greene plays it. And Torres comes up big against his former team. It's a tie ball game. Rays now go into the bullpen. Marcelo Arnez steps in. 1 out. Runner on second. Bottom of the 6th. And Carter gets that fastball right down the middle. That is headed out to right center, and it's gone. A's take the lead. A mistake there from Arnez, and Carter does not miss it. 2-2 here to India. Can Arnez get out of this? He can. Struck him out, but gives up 2. A's now lead after 6. Down to our final strike. And that's popped up. Right back to the catcher. Settles under it. A's are going to win it. Series goes to 2-1 Rays. Bottom 4 here at Game 4. Rays lead the series 2-1. Evan Carter's at the plate. Frederickson in a bit of a jam. Full count here to Carter. Frederickson delivers. And that's hit hard. Right center field. Right field towards the line. Diving attempt. That's off the wall. Carter with a big hit. And that's going to plate 2 for the A's. Popped up. Right field could be deep enough. Throw comes in. To the plate. And the Rays do plate one. Cut the lead in half. And that's grounded to third. Caminero has it. Throws over to first. And the Rays get one, but that's it. And despite a Williamson solo homer, the A's close out Game 2 to even the series. They win 4-2. Fredrickson with the loss and Javier with a very good game. 6 innings, 0 earned runs, 9 Ks for the A's. Game 5 of the series, all tied at 2-2. Rays down 2 here, facing Jack Flaherty. 2 runners on, 1 out. That's grounded softly to shortstop. To second for 1. Over to first. And not in time. Brodie beats it out. Rays play to run. 2-2 to Keith. Swing and a miss. Rays get 1, but that's it. So we're back at the top of the 8th with 2 outs, 2 runners on. Wenzel Perez at the plate. And that's hit hard. Down the left field line. To the track. To the wall. It's caught just before the wall by Carter. Headed to the 9th. And there you go. With that, the A's will take a 3-2 series lead before we head back to the Trop. 4-2 victory. Bryce Miller with the loss, giving up 3 runs on 8 hits, and Jack Flaherty with the win. And so with our backs against the wall, I will be watching this full game, and I will cut it down for the video. Game 6 of the ALCS. Athletics lead the Rays 3-2. Rays were the best team in the league this year, but their backs are against the wall here at home in the Trop. Game 6 starts now. Here in the bottom of the second, Xavier Edwards will lead off. And he hits a long one. Deep into right. Back to the wall. Gone. Xavier Edwards' solo shot to put the Rays on the board first. His first of the postseason. Edwards, using the whole field there, sends that to right, 3 rows deep, and the Rays have a lead in a game that in the series that they are trailing 3-2. 3-1 here to Perdomo. Shane sets and delivers. And Perdomo deep into left field, a no-doubt homer. Tie ball game. Full count here to Joe Adell. 2 outs, runner on first, top of the 4th. Tie ball game. And that's strike 3. 1-2 here. Popped up, right field. And that is caught. We're through 4. Perdomo looms on deck. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, outside corner. Headed to the bottom of the 5th. MVP chance rain out for Greene, who's had a fantastic postseason. Can he come up in a big spot? Here's the pitch. Strike 3, got him on a nice curveball, and the Rays go down without a run there. 2-2 now to Caminero. Every ball and strike means that much more. The pitch from Joyce. Swing and a miss. Williamson will have to go to first, and they got him. Joyce works through a base runner in the 8th, and we are headed to the bottom half of the inning, still tied. And Edwards softly pops that to center and makes the catch. We are headed to the 9th in a 3-2 series. A's lead, elimination game. And so Mario Jimenez will come in. The tall right-hander Jimenez. A 2-1. And that's hit hard. Deep into right. Soderstrom got a lot of that. That's going to get out of here. That's gone. Into the tunnel in the top of the 9th. Tyler Stroderson takes Jimenez deep, and the A's now have the lead. 2-2 pitch to Carter. Struck him out. Fastball in, but Jimenez gives up one, and the Rays will have to get one in the bottom of the 9th, or that will be the end of their season. A big swing for Soderstrom. And that much more difficult. Here's the full count pitch. Grounded, right up the middle. Line drive base hit for Brodie. A sign of life. Brodie on first. Figueroa at the plate. Martinez on the mound. And he gets Figueroa reaching. It's 2 down now. Perez trying to extend this game and the Rays season. Here's the pitch. And that's grounded. First base side. That's down the line. It's a fair ball. Badu's going to be rounding second and rounding third. Is he going to head to the plate? Throw goes to second. No, he stopped at third. A double for Perez, 2 in scoring position. But the Rays will need another hit as the A's are going to go to their bullpen. And here comes Xavier Curry. And once again, the Rays down to their final strike. Chris Samuel looking for his first hit today. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Strike 3. A's close out the series. They win the ALCS, and they will be heading to the World Series. And for the second year in a row, the Tampa Bay Rays, with the best team in the league by far, are stunned in the postseason and will not earn a World Series berth. And so the A's defeat the Brewers, and 2 years in a row, the Rays are bounced in the championship series, and then ultimately, whoever they lost to goes on to win the World Series. We'll clear all the stats there. We're going to have to get some new contracts. I'm not really sure, a couple guys here, big Hall of Fame inductees. Look at that, Trout, Altuve, Freeman. I'm not really sure what else to do with this team. We've been by far the best team in the league now 2 years in a row. We come up short. Closers who are some of the best closers in this entire league go on to blow games for us. And I just don't know what else I need to do to push us over the edge. It's incredibly frustrating. At least we're getting ourselves in position to succeed. It's just brutal for the Rays to lose like that. So close to the World Series. Just cannot seem to get pushed over the edge. And so have to regroup once again. That was our 7th season. We have now lost in the championship series twice in a row. And in order for this team to become a dynasty, you'd have to think that we need to win 2 of the next 3 World Series. And so it's proven to be very difficult just to get there. Postseason baseball is tough, but going to go through the offseason, try to find how I can make this team just that little bit better, even though we won, I think, 116 games. But when it comes down to October baseball, that's what really matters at this point for this club. So let's go ahead and just get started working through things, and we'll set ourselves up again to try to fight once more to make the World Series and win it. First step here is I'm going to make a qualifying offer to Shane McClanahan, and I don't think I've done this yet in the series. So the way this works is you have to make an offer, and this year it is $25 million 1 year. That is what the qualifying offer is. And that is roughly what Shane's going rate would probably be in free agency. It might even be more than that. So what happens is if he does not accept that, we receive draft pick compensation. And this is what I'm going to offer him. I may still pursue him in free agency if he declines. But that's the plan. I'm going to let Joyce and Brito and Stevenson walk. I'm going to look for somebody else in Joyce's spot. And we've got other relievers that we can continue to rely on. So, yeah, that's the plan here. Looking to hire Larry Conrad to come in as our hitting coach. Plate vision, power, and contact. -1 to drag bunting, but not too worried about the bunting. So we've got 3 years left. I'm going to try to get him for the rest of those years, and I'm going to go all the way up to $5 million, get his interest maximized, because I don't really want anybody else. I mean, I'll find somebody else, but this is the guy that I really want. We're going to go after Richard Chan as the pitching coach, +2 control, +2 clutch, +2 break, -1 stamina. I think we can afford to lose 1 stamina. And again, I'm going to offer him much more than he wants for 3 years, and hopefully both these guys accept our offer. Richard Chan does accept the offer as pitching coach, and Larry Conrad accepts the offer as hitting coach. So good start here. These are the 2 guys I wanted, and glad I got them. At this point, I don't even know why I really try in that little contract window where we have exclusive free agent rights. Shane McClanahan did decline the qualifying offer, but at least the benefit this time is we don't lose everything for that. We will get draft pick compensation. So, of course, we still have Miller, Pyle, and Fredrickson, but we'll have to see what we want to do with the other guys. There are some really good guys that I could bring up, but I also have a feeling that I may want to go get another certified ace in here, and if it's not McClanahan, then we'll see who it is. So it looks like McClanahan is the best pitcher on the board, so it makes sense that he wanted to test free agency. He's asking for 2 years, 30.5. I do want to bring him back. Didn't like anybody else quite as much. He is 34. I think I might only want him for 1 year, but out of all the guys that were on the board, I do think that McClanahan is the one that I want the most, at least for the pitchers. All right, massive deal here. Massive deal. The Guardians have this guy named Rodney Scruggs. Just soak this in for a second here. Okay. This is like the ultimate dream of hitting stats for a player. Of course, you'd love more power in there, but this is just like as good as it gets. So I don't think he's generational, because if you compare him to Williamson, our catcher, who's already 98 overall, at the same age and was drafted even 1 year later. But he looks amazing, and he's a Silver Slugger, a 2-time All-Star, and I want to put him in right, so we'd have Greene in left, and then this guy in right. He's got 2 years of ARB. I'm probably going to give him a 3-year deal if I can get it to go over the line, just to get him through the rest of our deal here. And so here's who we're giving up. So we gave Carson Williams a shot. We let him play 121 games. He had a 619 OPS. He did put up 2 WAR because he's got great defense, but he wasn't even in the running for like Gold Glove. Look at those defensive stats. So that doesn't really make much sense to me. But we've got this guy Costello, and in 63 games he had an 897 OPS. He played 41 games here, but he's improved a lot in between. So he looks like he's going to be just valuable. I mean, he's going to play 80% as good a defense as Williams, and he's going to hit a heck of a lot better. Now his durability is 73, so he could get hurt. Yeah, so I just don't need Williams. He's coming up for arbitration. There's nothing we can really, like, we can't send him down, yada, yada. So I'm ready to move off of Carson. This is really now just a brief minute here. Just, the guy behind your screen here is bummed about some of this stuff because all these Rays prospects, are so promising in real life, and then you sit them in this game, and it's like, have any of them really played a major role? Caminero? No. Williams? No. Aranda, way back to season 1? No. None of the pitchers. It's like, so, but we're going to move off them. I know this clip's going a little long. The other things I need to give up to make this go over the line. So you see the Guardians, they wanted a shortstop. I'm going to give them to them. And it's not that Williams is bad. I just want more at the plate. So they also want starters. And guess who's got a ton of starters? Us. So we're going to give up Jason Gill. And the reason why I'm going to give him up is because he's got low walks per 9. Everything else is amazing. Maybe he'll still find a way to be a good pitcher, but I'm not going to bet on him with some of the other guys that we have around him, like Ordonez and Fabregas especially. Even Styles, I like better. Saldana, here you go. And then Wong. Don't love Wong. Connolly, good option here. He might be like a final year of this rebuild. He might be in there. So we're going to give him Gill, and then we're also going to give him Becerra. Becerra's just kind of like mid. I think he's high C potential, so he could end up being like decent, like a 4.2 ERA guy, like a 5th rotation spot guy. So I'm more than happy to do this, and I just want, at this point, it's just time to build like the absolute super team that we can. So we're going to go for Rodney Scruggs, and he's going to play right. Looking for trades here. I just want to make a quick point. So if you look like at Luis Fernandez, he saved for us most of last year, blew 10 saves. We ended up bringing Arnez in, who had, well, he was a reliever. We had him save it in the postseason. But like, I'm trying to, because we've lost a couple big games due to our closers, like I'm trying to look around and find, is there a closer that I could trade for, right? And so like you look at Mason Miller, you might say to yourself, this is probably one of, if not the best closers in the game. Well, he blew 13 saves. So is it even worth it for me to try and do this to find a closer? I don't know. Another option was, let's see, on the Yankees here, was Clase, right? He may be Clase, but he's got 17 mil. So it's like, do I want to put Clase in for 17 mil? Maybe. So I'll see I'll let you know, of course, if I do something here. But I don't know if it's really worth it. I think we're just kind of getting unlucky because we've got good guys in here. Gonna get off the Brodie contract. We don't really need him anymore. Pirates are looking for a plug-and-play corner outfielder. So I've got that for him. Probably will be Badou's last year where he's a good player, and I just want to grab a reliever prospect. Not sure this guy's anything special, but yeah, just gonna move on from Badou here and have that reliever marinating in the minors. That didn't really sound right, actually. I'm gonna have that reliever in our system. I'm going to trade for that reliever. Yeah, okay. End scene there. Okay. Looks like Shane's coming back. 1 year, $29 million. Let's get him a ring. All right, we're gonna do it. Let's get Clase in here. He's 33 now. He doesn't show any signs of regressing, but he very well could. But just look at these stats. I mean, yeah, this is just absurd. We're gonna have room in the budget. There was a couple huge free agents that I thought about going after, but I think let's get an experienced guy in the pen. 95 overall, Emmanuel Clase. I'm gonna give up a good reliever prospect here, Miguel Hernandez, and then I'm going to give up a very good starter prospect in Darius Lucero. So, yeah, this is going to be the move here. We're going to put Clase in that closing role. We're going to go with Fabregas next year in the starting role. I was between Fabregas and Chavez. They both look great. Chavez is a lefty, which I like, but Chavez, he's only 20. We've only had him in the system for 2 years. I'm going to let him do one more year in AAA, and then we'll see what Fabregas is doing. And if he's, between these guys, they're kind of interchangeable. So Fabregas still has all of his options, so we can play around with it. And then just look at his stats. I mean, the hits per nine, the walks per nine, exactly what I'm looking for. Good stamina. So let's start with him, and then we'll see, as the next season goes on, if we end up making a move here. I don't know what the hell Washington was doing to my guy Emerson, but I'm not happy about it. Why has he got a 5.10 ERA? Look at how much better he was for us. Sheesh. Thought about bringing Mitch Keller in for a year, but I like what we got. So he's going to go to the Royals, who have been playoff contenders the last several years, and they're going to get him for a year. The big one, Roman Anthony was the number one free agent on the board. I looked at him for a week or two, decided not to go after him. 7 years, $40 million, and surprise, surprise, headed to the Big Apple. The Mets have signed damn near everybody. So I'm putting together a super team. They've put together a super team. I'm hoping that we face them in the World Series next year and beat their ass. Guard dogs are going to grab Devers for a couple years. $31 million a year. Probably a pretty good deal. 35 though. Decent chance that he regresses. But, he could DH. Wow, the mighty have fallen. Pirates. I didn't realize they were so bad. They were really good kind of in the middle of this rebuild. And there you go. They are going to have the number one draft pick next year with the Rockies and the White Sox. Those guys have not figured it out. They've had so many good picks and have not figured it out. And then the Reds jumped up a bunch. We're way over there on the right. 112 wins. So, yeah, we'll be getting the 28th pick, but it doesn't really matter too much at this point. With a budget of $244 million, I believe that I have created possibly the best team of all time. Whew. As it always goes in the offseason, there was a lot of decisions to make. I would say the big two are these guys right here. So Rodney Scruggs is an unbelievable outfielder. We have one of the best outfields that's ever graced any MLB ballpark ever. So Rodney Scruggs is coming in. I had to sign him 3 years for almost 27 million, but that takes us through the end of our rebuild era here in 2034. This dude was a Silver Slugger in 2030, two-time All-Star, home body quirk there. That doesn't mean a whole lot, but look at his last year, 831 OPS, and for WAR, still going to get better, only 24 years old. So excellent. And then we're going to bring Clase in. So he's $17 million a year, which is insane. But this is like, if I was going to, well, it's obvious because he's 95 overall, but if you were going to build the best closer of all time, it's Clase right here. If he's not the reliever of the year this year, I don't know what to say. It would be on him. He struggled a little bit last year, but look at these 2 years here. 1.7 and 1.3 ERA. 50 out of 51 saves. So this is what I'm hoping for. And more than anything, I'm hoping for this performance in the playoffs. I want to look real quick. I'm doing this live. What was his FIP? Okay, so his FIP is 3. That's weird. Anyway, yeah, I mean, this dude is just insane. So we're going to have a guy who, we can anchor over there in that closing role. Beginning of next episode, I'm going to show you the rotation and the lineup. It is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I actually can't wait I'm going to record that immediately after this because I'm so excited to talk about it. So these were the two big guys we added. Greene's coming back. Miller's still here. McClanahan, we're going for one more year. I want to win a World Series with Shane, see this thing through with him, and then we'll figure it out after that because our other pitchers will probably be close to as good, if not better than him by that point. Keith's coming back. Perez last year, the deal out in center. We may have to figure something out. We'll probably keep him all the way through the end of the year, but after that, we'll have to figure something out. 2 more years of Xavier Edwards. He is regressing a little bit, but his stats are still insane, and we don't need him to play in the field. He DHs, so we're going to rock with Xavier. Shawano 1 more year, and then Graham Williamson, as we know, was our generational catcher way back from episode 2. He will reach 98 overall this year. So we'll see what we get out of Graham still, as I kind of keep harping on. Still want a little bit more on the plate. Can he get to an 800 OPS? Is it possible for Graham? It certainly should be. So we'll see if he can do it. Pyle is no longer on a renewable contract, so offered him 1 year, $10 million, and he's going to be excellent. Figueroa, 2 more years. Luis Fernandez, the lefty sidearm reliever. We got him to the end of this thing. And then Fredrickson, same as Pyle, no longer renewable. So got him for 1 year, 4.5, which is a steal. This is, I think I mentioned another guy was Hancock 2.0, and he is, but Fredrickson is Hancock 1.5. So getting him for 4.5, fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. I'd be just extremely motivated. We had 2 great chances the last couple of years. Let me show you something. I don't think I've shown this page before here. I got to find it. GM goals. Look at our last 2 years. 106 and 56, 112 and 50, losing in the ALCS both years. So with the roster that I've just put together, I believe we could win 115, 116 games. Who knows? But there's a good chance that we're going to do even better than 112 and 50, which is crazy to think about. And man, really all that matters is if we end up coming away with the World Series. So with all that being said, another year down, 3 more years to go. I will see you next episode for 2032.